Hi folks, Dave here. Today I have a battery on my workbench from Timeusb. Just to be clear, Timeusb sent me this battery for testing and evaluation. I don't receive sales commissions, nor do I get paid for this review. I'm just going to test the battery and show you how it works, and I'm going to give you my thoughts and opinions on it at the end of the test. This is a 200 amp hour lithium iron phosphate battery, quite similar to other batteries that I have reviewed. 2,560 watt hours, lithium iron phosphate 200 amp hour. This is the Plus model. According to the label on the top, this model has the 200 amp BMS. Now, it's not healthy to draw 1C discharge from a battery, so my tests usually don't go that high. The first thing I need to do is charge this battery up so that I can give it a good test. It's going to receive a deep cycle test. I'm going to charge it all the way up and then run it all the way down and make sure it actually has 200 amp hours in it. I'm also going to check the voltage real quick. And it's 13.15 volts, which is pretty normal for shipping. And per my usual procedure, I will use a Coulomb counting amp meter and some various cables to do the deep cycle test. So I'll go ahead and set this stuff up, get it connected, hook up my inverter, and then I'll be right back with you. The test setup has been configured, and we have a couple of big heavy cables going over to my inverter. That's a 1200 watt amp NVT low frequency pure sine wave inverter. And it's currently powered off because I don't need to use it yet. On the left we have the Coulomb counting amp meter, and this is currently monitoring the power going into the battery. Right now I have 22.8 amps going into the battery, and that's going into this fuse here. This is a 150 amp fuse that goes to the inverter, that goes to the charge controller. And over here we have the negative side, that's the shunt for measuring the current. The charge controller and the inverter are connected here. I'm using one of my Make Sky Blue charge controllers to do the charging. And that has an auxiliary fan on it. If you want to see more about that, I'll put a link in the description. I have upgraded my charge controllers with auxiliary fans because they work a lot better that way. They run a lot cooler. As you can see, I'm getting about 300 watts into the battery. However, this is a really big battery and it's going to take a long time to charge. So I'm just going to leave it here to charge until it's 100%, and then I'm going to do a deep cycle capacity test to verify that it has 200 amp hours in it. Usually with battery reviews, I try to take a look at the company website. The first reason is I'm concerned about their support and their warranty, SLA. And the other thing is I like to try to get a feel for what the company's about and how they might treat their customers. I notice they have here a community page, which is a Facebook group, and I don't use Facebook, but I notice they have over 100 members, so that's interesting. They also have a blog, and I'm just checking their about page and taking a look at their vision and mission statement. My concern is their treatment of customers and their warranty and support, and sometimes you can learn a lot by looking at these pages. And here is the register warranty page. Now, of course, there's no honest and above board way that I can test the warranty. I'm just reviewing the battery. Anyway, let's take a look at their products. Now, to be clear, the market is saturated with batteries and battery companies, so that's why I pay more attention to the company itself, but the specs are still important. So this is the model of battery that I'm reviewing. It's the 12 volt 200 amp hour plus battery. And as is common, they're claiming the automotive grade A battery cells, which is fine. A lot of these batteries have the exact same cells in them. I don't cut batteries open in most cases. It doesn't really change anything. The battery either works or it doesn't. And here they're saying it has a higher energy density than lead acid, which is correct. 45 pounds weight, over 45 pounds, which is about average for a large battery. Okay, let's take a look at some of the other technical details. Can you use a Timeusb LiFePo4 battery as a starting battery? The answer is no. And I do like it when companies address this question directly. Some people just do not understand that the C rate of these lithium iron phosphate batteries is really not as high as you think it is. There's a lot of misunderstanding and also misinformation about C rate, including charge and discharge. A battery like this is a storage battery, and really C10 is the most healthy for it. As you can see here, these batteries are designed specifically for energy storage and lack the cold cranking amps. I'm glad they addressed that question on their website. And it's clear that they're targeting storage applications like RV and camping and things like that. I do not see where it has a low temperature cutout, so like all these batteries, you really need to put them somewhere where they don't freeze, and if they're going to freeze, going to need to disconnect the charger to be safe. Okay, the 200 amp hour battery is now fully charged and ready to be tested. I've got my 1200 watt inverter here. I'm going to plug in my space heater, and I'm going to use that as a test load to draw this battery down to 0%, and we will see if it really has 200 amp hour in it. Okay, now I'm going to turn the inverter on, start the test. Okay, let's switch on the space heater and start at the test. and we're drawing 23 amps, which isn't too far off of C10. That heater doesn't draw enough power, so I decided to switch to this one instead. Let's see what we get out of this one. And we're now drawing about 35 to 36 amps, which is much better. So that's pushing the battery harder than C10, which would be 20 amps, and I want to do that because this is a review. Pulling 100 or 200 amps very likely would do permanent and irreversible harm to the battery. Okay, the test is live and up and running, and I'm just going to let that finish, and it'll take about 5 hours. And as soon as it's done, I'll tune back in and let you know what the results are. Well, the test is still running, and we have 119 amp hours left on the meter there. So I might as well make some noodles with the power. The noodles are boiling. Once those are done, I'm just going to go ahead and use the space heater to finish the test. Okay, the battery passed the test. I'm going to go ahead and turn the heater off now. And I'll turn the inverter off. About 11.5 volts on the meter. Everything's zeroed out on the Coulomb counting amp meter. So this battery did very well. In my testing of this battery, I don't find anything wrong with it. It has the advertised capacity plus a little bit extra, and that's good. It's currently undergoing a long-term test, which will take about a year. I don't receive commissions for making this review or sales of the battery. If you'd like to buy one, there's a purchase link in the description with a discount code. Thanks for watching my review, and thanks to Timeusb for providing the sample for this test.